The Age of Fear event is in full swing. We have been logged in now for 70 days, so a little bit over 2 months. Now, we have run into a little bit of a problem. The new characters like Breaker, Silver Surfer, and the Mighty Storm, they're easy to get free to play, easy to get even for newer people since they're only 15 shard unlocks. However, as you can see here from my Storm, we do not have her unlocked yet. Why is that? Well, when we look at the event, we do have two options here. Obviously, we have the Mighty Storm Tower and we have the Mighty Storm Omega. The Omega is made for the endgame players. The original Mighty Storm Tower, the one further there to the left, is made for everyone, more for newer players in mind. We were able to get through the first floor, but we were not able to get through the second floor. If you notice there, the required character trait is Hero Cosmic. So we'll just go ahead and enter the node there and we can start to see what's going on. So when it comes to Hero Cosmic characters, I don't have a whole lot. This was made for the Fantastic Four MCU, but if you were a newer player that just came perhaps during the anniversary, more than likely you do not have that team built yet. The only Hero Cosmic character that we have is Nova Sam Alexander there from the Champions. So we see the characters loading in here, and so it's 8, right? There's 8 opponents on the board. I'll just go ahead and put it on auto as we just kind of talk through. So Sam Alexander here, he's not super, he's okay, right? He didn't get stunned there. That's the main point. He's holding his own a little bit here. We'll take the auto off because I'm getting ready to take a turn. He's holding his own, right? He's taking the hits relatively well. So maybe we just need to give him a little bit more power. We'll make him retaliate here. And he's able to remove 2 of the opponents just with the power level that he has. So it's possible that we're not really jammed up. So again, when it comes to Marvel Strike Force, we might run into problems and we need to figure out if there is indeed a solution. By himself, again, he's taking the hits relatively well. If he was a little bit stronger, maybe we could get it done with just him. If not, maybe there's another character that we can use to get him some help. So you see, he's not going to make it. So if we need to get him some help, the question is, who would that character be? We're going to answer this in kind of a roundabout way, but this is how we need to think about things when it comes to Marvel Strike Force. So as we notice there, we're at level 94 account wise. So if we can get up to level 95, we could then bring him up to level 95, and that will give him a new gear tier level. He'll be at gear tier 18. So overall, just taking a look, here's my champion team overall, and he's the only one that we're going to be powering up. I'm just missing that one piece to get him up to the next gear tier level. So he's at 16, that will bring him to 17. And then again, if we get our account level up to 95, we can bring him to gear tier 18. Maybe that by itself will be enough to get us through. If not, then this is the complete list of characters that we have available that would qualify us to finish that node. We want to be very careful on who we pick, because we recognize that we don't 100% understand how the economy is working. Usually we can only build a certain amount of characters, and the Shadow Conclave is coming. We don't want to fall behind, but Storm the Mighty is important. She's very important. We want to make sure that we get a hold of her as well. An easy character choice would be to power up one of the Fantastic Four MCU. The ones who seem to do the most damage, who are the hardest hitting, is going to be Invisible Woman and Franklin Richards. So it would be one of those 2 individuals that I would choose to power up if I'm going in that direction. However, I personally might choose to do something different. One of the individuals that we have there on that page is Quasar. And just because of the event, we can just auto our way through. That's what we did. We can auto our way through the Quasar event and get him at 7 yellow stars relatively easy. And since he's at 7 stars, right, if I bring him up to gear tier 18, again, that's going to make another very strong character that I can still use in other parts of the game. He's a legendary character, so it'll help me get over some of the hump in some of those dark dimensions that require legendary characters to proceed. So if we're not going to go in the direction of, say, Fantastic Four or a Quasar, we want to make sure we're understanding why, right? That's really the main point to everything we're going to do. Don't panic. Take time to think. What is going to be the best tool I can use to get to my goal? So just by way of reminder, at the time that this video is being taken, we have 12 days to do this. We have plenty of time. So more than likely, I'll be able, hopefully, to get to 95. I'll be able to get Sam up to that new gear tier. If he's still not strong enough, Quasar is my play. If you have a different idea on what character you think we should use, let me know. I'm very interested on what worked for you. What was the power level of the character? And again, if you're coming up like me and maybe you just started within the last couple of months with this account, do you have any other thoughts, any other suggestions? What characters do you have available? On the other side of that coin, we were indeed able to unlock Silver Surfer Breaker on this account. So once again, as the Age of Fear is in play, Sculpted, you're doing a fantastic job. Everybody is accessible. I like that. This is what Marvel Strike Force is supposed to be. Every character is accessible. The thing that's being paid for is the power, the actual overall power, the strength of the character, and it makes a difference if you're free to play or a spender, right? That's things that people are looking for. So amazingly, we were able to get the character. That means we're able to play with the toys. He is the best character in the game, as some individuals will say, right? He's the third strongest character overall, period. So since we're able to get him free to play, this is something that is very important. I would encourage us as new players to make sure we unlock this person, and over the course of the event, see if we can find ways to make him stronger. These plug and play characters are what we're going to be able to use to leverage the power that we don't have in our account. Just to recap, all we really did is we turned on one modifier. We use that unrattle number 1. They gain armor. I'm not sure if that was the best thing to do, but it gives us enough points so at the end we can unlock the character, right? It's relatively easy. The characters here are wearing blue gear. We just used one of our teams. We used our champion team, I believe, for the most part. Just put it on auto and we were able to get through. Now we can go back and see if we can increase the difficulty here and there to get a stronger version of the character. We're using him a little bit in arena. We have him paired up here with our Insidious 6 team, and we're inside again of that top 500. We seem to be vacillating in between that, and now we've made it. We're closing in on the top 300. So we're able to punch up just a little bit more by using this character. We want to give a shout out to Desir, who showed us earlier he was using this character in in arena. So it made me think, hey, if he works at endgame arena, why wouldn't he work right now? Right? So go ahead and try to use it to our advantage. Maybe when we get Storm, maybe she'll have some value as well. We'll have to see how it goes. These are the 3 raid teams that we've been working on so far. So we have our champions, our immortal weapons, and our Insidious 6. We're going to stop right there regarding our raid teams. Sometimes we get some questions for how many raid teams should we build. I'm going to stop here simply for the reason that you're just trying to get to the point where you can get into the normal release cadence of characters. The next wave of characters that should be coming out is the Shadow Conclave, and we want to be ready to build that. So in the meantime, we have our champions, which helped us to get our Daring Warriors. We have our immortal weapons, our Insidious 6, and our Insidious 6 and our champion, notice they both have full blue ISO. So they can do the highest level that allows. I think that's level 5 or 6 in the raids. And we're going to be doing the same thing for our immortal weapon. In the meantime, when we're starting to get some of that purple ISO, we'll start adding it to these characters as well. That way we can move up one more tier in the raid and get the appropriate resources from there. This is what our Shadow Conclave team looks like. We're not actually building anyone in the team just yet. We're getting Sylvie and Thanos out of the character stored slowly, right? We're just taking them a little bit at a time. We haven't actually built them yet. We're just, again, picking up their shards out of the character store using shop credits. We are once in a while finding the high evolutionary. We'll see if we can get him unlocked before his standard release. And again, we're taking that philosophy is when we get those orbs that Johnny won, we'll either use 50 for executioner and 50 for evolutionary, get both those characters up and running. That way we can start with the team. If by some chance we're able to get the high evolutionary unlocked, then we'll just use all 100 for the executioner. In the same way, we're doing the same thing. We're just trying to get the team up and running, but we want to just wait until the actual free-to-play release begins. We're doing the same thing for our Exalted X-Men team. Obviously, that's the team that Storm goes on. And we're just picking up the characters as we go. We know we get Wolverine shards every day for just doing the dailies. And just by playing the game, we're able to get a 3, looks like now a 4-star Jubilee just by playing the game and using the characters that we already have. Remember, we have plenty of time. If for some reason we're not able to unlock Storm, the tower goes away in 12 more days. We're going to finish out the month, and then when the next month starts, so early in June, we would expect the tower comes back. So our team should be stronger. That's when this team should be coming out on the free-to-play side. So even if we're not able to unlock Storm now, her team doesn't come out free-to-play, at least, for probably another month. So we have time. Don't feel panicked. Don't feel rushed, right? We'll just think this is Marvel Strike Force. If we're playing free-to-play, we got to do everything one bite at a time, one step at a time. And if we're not going to spend any money, that means don't get pushed into the fear of missing out. We've got to think about, well, what do I have? Where am I going? And how do I get there? We just have a few more points to keep in mind regarding our resources. Up at the top there, we have our power cores. Right now, I have 10.2 thousand power cores. I know people are saying power cores have lost their value, but as newer players, we still need them to continue to refresh our energy. That's something that we're going to have to do for quite some time, especially until we reach max level. We need to use that campaign energy to, again, increase our experience points so we can level up. It looks like we're running slightly at a deficit. I don't know if that is the case. We're just starting to take note. I know that the other day I was at 10.3 and now I'm at 10.2. 1 day change. That's not really enough to know. We'll have to see how this looks over the course of weeks to understand where we're going. If this is the case and we're being bogged down farther than the amount that's needed just for our refreshes, that's something that I think does indeed need to be addressed. I think that's something that Valley Flying had brought out. So he made me think about this. And so then now I'm starting to try to keep track a little bit of how many that we have. In addition, shop credits. So as you see, a significant drop in the shop credits, even though we got some good ones in the codes and whatnot. Again, just something to keep in mind. Scopely, please just keep an eye on it. We're going to find out, right? Is this necessary? I like it. I want it. I need it. As far as if you were a newer player, if we run out, what does that mean? I don't know. How important is it? I'm not sure. I guess we're going to find out. Also be mindful that the fractal store, depending on when you're looking at this video, it looks like it only has about a day and a little bit left. So make sure you're spending your fractal currency. At some point, you just start buying whatever, right? At some point, you just start buying whatever. All I did is at this point, I'm just buying everything, purple ISO, all the characters. I don't have these two individuals usable, right? So I'm not spending on them, but get all of the red gear and whatnot. I didn't get any awakened abilities. That's my build path. That's what I'm trying to do right now, just to spend the currency, because otherwise it just gets converted into shop credits, which sounds like a good thing if you're low, but it is not. Use what you can to target these higher affinity pieces. Much more important, right? This is the only place you can really get them is in these chapter stores. You won't be able to use them in the shops. So tell me how you're enjoying the Age of Fear so far. I think we're off to, again, a great start. This is what Marvel Strike Force is supposed to be. I know there's a lot going on, a lot of content. If we've just been playing for a couple of months, there was a time when there was like no content, and now there's all kinds of things going on. So please feel free to ask questions. We'll do our best to answer them and find the answers for you. If you have some suggestions for me, hey, I'm willing to take it. We're all kind of entering into this new phase of the game at the same time. So there's some uncertainty. There's always questions to be asked. We're just trying to figure out what is the appropriate pathway, the most common pathway for us to take. We recognize that people play differently. We got to keep that in mind. But is there some type of general rule or two that we can follow when trying to make decisions? That's what we got to say today. If you haven't seen this video right here, please check it out. It's legit.